A book is a person, and they are someone who shares part of their story and part of their identity in an attempt to get closer to the person that they're speaking to and break down any prejudice or thoughts they might have of the title that they present. So the title of the book, for example, is the story that they're going to be sharing.
You were either discriminated or had a difficult time in your life, but you overcame it and you've learned a certain lesson from it, because if you're not really ready to tell your story and you're still traumatized from it, you're not ready to be a book. If you have some conclusion and some lesson from your story and you're ready to share it with the people, that is the most important. Like, the book has to have an ending, and it has to be something that can help other people understand.
And when you go to the place where the Living Library is held, there are certain volunteers and librarians that will guide you through the space and will give you a catalog of what they have to offer. So in that catalog there are the titles of the books, and that means the stories of the people who are there. And by looking at them and giving a short introduction about them, you can choose which story you want to hear and feel most comfortable listening to. And that way then a volunteer will guide you to the book, and you will sit down and have a conversation with them. And we have a chat. I can ask you some questions, you can ask me any question that you like, and I answer, of course, if I feel comfortable with the questions. But the thing is, it's a one-on-one conversation usually. There can be more participants, but it's I would say it's a fairly intimate thing, because you are listening to my story, something that is part of my identity, part of my personal life, and you can ask things along that story. For example, if I gave you a story about my childhood and something that happened there, and if you have any questions about how I felt, the scenario, the things that were happening, you might identify with it and want to know more about it, you can ask me anything you'd like. So it's basically a conversation between two people explaining certain things and breaking down certain stereotypes and prejudices.
My experience when I sat down there and saw the first person being a 15-year-old, which was my age when I was telling the story, I felt I could speak to her, but I needed to leave certain details out because it takes some time to really understand it and overgrow it. And at the end, I realized that my story was about something that is difficult, but my lesson from it really helped people with friendship and relationships, and I really didn't think of it like that way when I started speaking my story. So I also realized something about myself, like how I learned to appreciate people, and being a lesson to people was also a lesson to myself after those 3 hours speaking to them, because I saw kids asking me some questions I even forgot to ask myself, and I was really happy I was reminded of some small details that make my life happy. Don't be afraid to speak up. Everybody has issues. The main issue is nobody's talking about it. And my quote, seriously, as a book and in life, it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay not to say anything about it. So if you do have a story to tell, and if you do feel somehow traumatized or discriminated, it's not scary to speak to someone. Chances are people will really listen to you and won't judge you when you tell them. They just need to sit down and talk to you. It won't be the same if they talk to you for half an hour or if they talk to you for 5 minutes, but it still changes some other perspective in their mind, because they see you as a human being. It's very different when you read it online and very different when you see the person in real life.